we will be recording, and you're just going to click continue if you're okay with that. Okay, so we will start recording then. Welcome to Learning for Pre-Service Teachers and Transition Professionals. My name is Pam Jensen, and I'm the Transition Improvement Grant Coordinator, and I'm going to be co-presenting today with Alicia Reinhard, who is the TIG Grant Director, and also the Department of Public Instruction Graduation and Transition Consultant.
You got it.
Right? Okay.
I know that's a mouthful.
And we also have with us today Lisa Van Dyke, who is also a part of our grant, is our evaluation coordinator and also our administrative assistant. So she serves as a couple great roles for our grant as well. She's going to be behind the scenes today, answering any questions that you might have. If you're having any technical difficulties, anything like that, just please put them in the chat, and then she can help you right away.
All right.
So we just kind of wanted to find out a little bit who's with us today. So we would ask you to unmute, and if you're willing and daring to show us your beautiful faces this morning, when you introduce yourself, and just give us your name, where you're from, your job title, and then one teaching strategy you're using with pre-service teachers. Anyone would like to start us out?
I have a hard time hearing. Did you say I should start?
Yes, if you would like to, go ahead.
Sure. I'm Ruth Nyland. I have a position, I'm a professor at the University of Wisconsin-Stout. I mainly teach early childhood special education.
Okay.
And what I've used with pre-service teachers, I guess I've been doing it for a long time, and I just say that the placement drives the activities that you're going to use, so I can't be scripted when you're out there.
Great. Thank you, Ruth. Jeff, thanks for that note about Pam's volume. Pam, did you see that?
I did.
Okay.
I'm going to try it without my speaker and see if that's better. Does that come across better?
Clear to me, but I want to hear what everyone else says.
Sounds the same to me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fine to me before, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Does anyone like to go next and share where they're from?
Yeah, I can jump in.
Sure.
My name is Carson Powell. I'm at UW Eau Claire. I am an assistant professor in the Department of Special Education and Inclusive Practices. I teach our course in transition planning for students with disabilities. And as far as strategies go, it's similar to what Ruth said, but I keep looking for those authentic opportunities to let students practice with real kids. So get out and do some transition assessment, create some of the informal kinds of things they need to do, have conversations with those kids, and then try to create a plan which makes sense for those kids.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anyone like to go next?
I can go. My name is Christina Miller, not Jeffrey, sorry.
That's okay.
I am an assistant professor at Maranatha Baptist University in Watertown, Wisconsin. And one teaching strategy that I use with my pre-service special ed students in particular is we talk a lot about the word flexibility, which I feel like in the year 2020 is something that we need to be kind of at the forefront, like pasted across our foreheads, and how special ed is not prescriptive, as someone mentioned. It's just very flexible. It's organic in its process. So.
Great, thank you. Would anyone else like to share?
Hey, yeah, I'll go. Let me see, is my camera on? There we go. Yeah, I'm James Collins, UW Whitewater, former student in the class now. Good to see you, Lisa. Let's see, I coordinate our Transition Specialist Certificate Program. I'm the director of UWW Life. I teach spec ed law, assessment, methods for students with ID. And I mean, I'd say that The strategy that's coming to mind right now is performance-based assessment, having students do it and then monitor them while they do it and give feedback while they are learning.
Great. Did we get everyone that's interested in sharing? Wait another minute here. Okay, we'll move on then. So one thing that we want to highlight with you to make you aware of is that the Transition Improvement Grant created a post-secondary transition plan course and partnered with UW-Whitewater to promote this course. The course is free, no cost to students or to anyone in the field. And the highlights of the course is our WI Transition app, which is an application that mirrors the post-secondary transition plan that is in the IEP. And so it gives an opportunity for students and families to complete that process in a more friendly way. We also have instructional videos on each component of the PTP. We have many resources, knowledge checks after each section, and then at the end of the course, they receive a certificate of completion. So we have had, I believe, 2 college professors that have utilized this course as a part of their transition planning courses. The course goes over student and family involvement, as I said, the app, student-directed IEPs, age-appropriate transition assessments, transition planning in general, measurable post-secondary goals, pre-employment transition services, outside agencies, annual goals, course of study, age of majority, and then notice of graduation and summary of performance. So there's a wealth of information in the course, and we've heard pre-service teachers to veteran teachers using it and feeling like it's really given them a lot of information and gain more knowledge in the area of transition planning. So we invite you to use that within your courses or to check it out yourselves for any information that you would like to pull from there. Our next slides we're going to go through is just information on our new website that TIG has created. And once we go through these slides, then Alicia will bring us to the website and we'll show you exactly where these resources are. So the first box that you would find is online learning. And under online learning, we have technical assistance, which is videos on the PTP and reporting mainly for directors and designees. We also have professional development, which we have right now a video series of community employment connections, transition improvement planning, transition practices through partnerships, raising the cap, and then we're also adding a series now for self-advocacy for a showcase of our resources. Virtual professional learning options covers our PTP series, webinar series that we'll have throughout the year. We're also hosting community of practices this year around mental health, career and technical education, and graduation for all, looking at students with disabilities and graduation and dropout rates. And then learning modules that we'll add throughout the year. We'll also have monthly features where we'll highlight our e-newsletter. We'll also have a series on raising the cap, which focuses on graduation and dropout rate. We'll have our self-advocacy showcase. And then also this year, we're starting something new too for paraeducators and focusing on some tips and tricks for them as well. Self-Advocacy Suite, we have curriculums, a guide, and an app within the Self-Advocacy Suite section. We have 3 curriculums: Becoming a Self-Advocate, Self-Directed Transition Planning, and A New Way of Thinking. A New Way of Thinking focuses more on middle school students and starting to learn more about their disability. We're Becoming a Self-Advocate and the Wisconsin Self-Directed Transition Planning focus on disability areas, but also on accommodations, transition planning, families, working with outside agencies, and giving students that feel of how to direct their own IEPs, BTPs, and other areas of their life. Then we also have the self-directed college and career ready IEP guide, which assists students in thinking through their IEP and how to self-direct and to run their own IEP meetings. And then again, we also have our Wisconsin Transition app that I talked about previously. In this slide, you'll just see the basics of our website. So on the bottom, you'll see how it would look on our website with the login, contact, resource, events, and about us. So the login, I think everyone will have an account since you registered for this event, but if you're sharing this information with coworkers or students, everyone that comes onto our website needs an account if they're going to access some of our tools and have a professional development profile. Contact Us has all of our TIG coordinators around the state, and they're separated by region, as well as then our statewide staff, which you would see like myself, Alicia, and Lisa. And then we also have resources, and you can sort those resources by content area, key resources, or resource type. Meaning resource type might be a video or something particular you're looking for. Events, we have transition related PD series, our community of practice, and then just informational webinars that we'll have throughout the year. And then a few other highlighted resources we thought may be beneficial is our County Community on Transition Toolkit, which is often called a CCAT. Within this toolkit, there are tools and resources for CCATs which focus on their teams, their success, how to leverage the data within their county, and then communication within the teams. There's 72 counties in Wisconsin, and we have, I believe, about 64 CCATs running, which actually encompasses all of the counties within Wisconsin. Some of those counties overlap, or they've decided to become one CCAT with 2 or 3 counties, depending on the size of their county. But we really encourage higher education, even the students that you're working with, to get involved with CCATs. They offer a lot of information from our outside agencies or adult agencies. We often have higher education at the table, teachers within the districts within that county. And we're hoping to get more employers, youth, and families to the tables of those CCATs as well. Then we'll have a section new from TIG, and that's our latest transition information. So for example, we have some resources there right now that focus on COVID-related resources, and then our e-newsletters would also be stationed in that area. Another resource that we have coming soon that we're excited about is our Transition Resource Guide. And this will be all of the TIG resources that we have available all in one flip book. So if you're struggling to find where to find a resource on our website, this is another way that you'll be able to access those resources or tips and tools that you're looking for to work with students.
Okay, I think that's my cue. So now that Pam has kind of talked you through some of our main resources that might be helpful in supporting the students that you're teaching in your courses, we thought we'd give you a live look of where to find those resources and tools directly on our website. I think I clicked it off before and I'm kicking myself for doing that, but when you come to our homepage, you'll often see a blue bar that pops up here on your main screen, and that will be just a place that we highlight the latest information that's been posted to the website. So currently there's 2 things that sit on that blue bar that you may find when you visit our website, which is witig.org. It lists the PTP course that Pam just went through, and then our brand new Self-Advocacy Suite showcase, our first video release for that showcase, will be linked here, right here across the top. So we'll just start by giving you a tour of the homepage. You start with our story, which we're really proud of, is a big part of our redesign, and just telling the field and people who are visiting our site what TAG is all about. So you saw that as you were logging on this morning. Next, you'll find our upcoming events, and you can also find events by clicking the events tab here, and we'll go to that page here in a second. Here are the 4 content areas that our grant project is responsible for supporting the field on. And we have 4 special education indicators that we work on: graduation rates, dropout rates, transition planning, and post-school outcomes. If you do click these links, it will take you to some related web pages. Probably the most pertinent for our audience today is the post-secondary transition plan, or the PTP. If you click that, that takes you right to DPI's Indicator 13 or PTP webpage, which is where you can go and log into the PTP application as a teacher. And then here you'll find the demonstration site too, which may also be useful as you're working with your students. Under our content areas, here's the Self-Advocacy Suite that Pam went through, and you can click through each piece of our suite here and learn a little bit more. And then go ahead and click, and it'll take you to a web page about this and ways to access that resource. And then lastly, new from the Transition Improvement Grant is where we have our latest news. This is where you'll find our e-news, any new resources that have been posted, or new parts of those virtual web series that Pam referenced. We have a lot of COVID-related planning resources down here right now, and I imagine those resources will continue to take up those boxes as we start school in the fall. So I think next, what should we look at next, Pam? The suite, events, what are we thinking? And any's good? Okay. Why don't I just walk you through? We do have this floating menu here. And we do have some of this content, again, designed around those 4 indicators. So Graduation for All focuses on improving graduation and dropout rates for students. You can see our Raising the Cap series is highlighted. We'll go look at that in a second. Transition planning is all about Indicator 13 and writing effective PTP plans for students. We have great highlights like age-appropriate transition assessments. I imagine are probably a pretty popular topic in your courses. So it talks about the legal requirements of transition assessment in terms of transition planning, and goes into some other components of effective assessments. Post-school outcomes talks all about the data that we are responsible for helping to collect after students leave school, and some of the things that are related to that data collection. We have a statewide grant that is related to that. The Self-Advocacy Suite, I'm going to go ahead and click on. Pam did reference the pieces of the suite, so I'm not going to go through them individually. But these curricula and tools are really helpful for teachers, and we have some great resources like this video that explains what all of the pieces of the suite are. And you can go ahead and click on each of those pieces. Online learning is probably going to be one of our most popular visits for our audience today. Pam had spoken about these pieces, but here is our professional development video series. Our newest series is Raising the Cap and the Self-Advocacy Showcase. Raising the Cap specifically focuses on evidence-based strategies for improving graduation and dropout rates for students with IEPs. And then also, so breaks down, each video breaks down the strategy, but then also provides an activity for school teams to be using and implement as they kind of look at those pieces within their school. And then Pam had mentioned we have a brand new self-advocacy showcase that's breaking down that really big suite with a lot of information and a lot of curricula. Those showcases are going to kind of break that down into some smaller pieces and easier to dive into for teachers for sure. So I could see this being a really valuable resource, especially for pre-service teachers as they're kind of trying to take it all in. In online learning, we also have the technical assistance section, which is where we have videos specifically around managing the PTP, mostly for directors here. And then what do we call this? The virtual professional learning options page is our brand new page of our virtual series of professional learning for the 2021 school year. We realize that the learning landscape just has really changed for everybody across the state. And so we wanted to be responsive to that and provide a wide array of options for learning. So we have a webinar series being hosted. We have 3 community of practices being hosted. We have monthly features, and then we do have formal PTP training for any new teachers, emergency licensed teachers, just teachers new to transition. And there's several different options on how attendees can engage in that training. Several of those options include using the PTP course through UW-Whitewater, but then there is also live training hosted by TIG staff, as well as networking and monthly follow-up transition talks. Great way for new transition educators to connect with each other throughout the year, but it doesn't have to just be new staff either. What else did I miss?
I would also highlight the family series that we're going to have.
Absolutely.
Just because I know we have someone on that's working with early childhood, but we're looking at that series to highlight elementary students, middle school, and then high school. So focusing on talking with families and parents about what kind of things can they do to help their student prepare for transition at those stages.
Great. And our coordinator who's hosting that series, his name is Brian Kenny, and he has chosen to host that series in the evening from 8 to 9 p.m. to try and be responsive to family schedules. So we're not competing with school schedules and work schedules, and so most of our events are hosted like right after school, but that one is a little bit later in the day. Okay, our last main section here on the website is transition partners, and this is exactly what it sounds like. It's where we list and link our transition partners that we work with regularly to supporting our students to have positive outcomes. In addition, in this section, you will find the CCAT Toolkit that Pam mentioned. This is the PDF version. We also have a Google site version, but this is brand new as of last spring, just came out around May. And this toolkit really helps break down how a CCAT can function and be an effective vehicle for promoting positive transition for students with disabilities in their community. So very comprehensive. I don't think we'll spend too much time going through that today, but did just want to highlight that. Then finally, Pam did talk about like the main sort of structures of our webpage here. That's at the very top. Events is where you'll find our event calendar. You can see some of our series here and sort that way. You can sort through the list. If you click view, you can switch to a calendar view. I prefer the calendar view because I just like to look at things that are coming up. Resources, as Pam mentioned, there's several ways you can search just by a keyword, but then there's also categories here where you can search. And then we have highlighted some key resources and even types of resources at the bottom. And then finally is our contact page. You can click the part of the map maybe that your school is located in and see who the regional coordinator who supports that area is. Shelly supports our northern region and CSAs 8, 9, and 12 and is our newest TIG staff. And then if you scroll down, you can find contact information for our statewide staff, and you'll probably recognize the 3 of us there in the top row. Oh, not quite. Jen's in the top row. I thought that was Lisa. Lisa's in the bottom, but you'll recognize a few of us. Your regional TIG coordinators are great resources too. Several of them often collaborate with courses at the higher institutions to go in and talk about transition planning, so that's always an option if you're looking to bring in a guest speaker to one of your classes or just having somebody to collaborate with. That is what we are here for. Did I miss anything?
I don't think so. I would just highlight with the transition partners page. That's a really good resource to share with pre-service teachers. Oftentimes they're not familiar with the different partners within transition. And so this is a great way for them to learn more about for example, the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation, and learning that each school district has a liaison from DVR, learning more about the ADRC, or Aging and Disability Resource Center. That's also a good resource, because those two places are often the places that a teacher needs to start with to make referrals for students. And just knowing that there's a national center out there on transition, and other resources that they can go to, like children and youth with special health care needs. They have a lot of information for any teachers that are working with students that have more significant medical needs. So there's a great wealth of resources on here, as well as the Wisconsin Facets and WISBE are both parent advocacy grants or groups that can also help parents and teachers navigate the system of working with parents. So this is a great resource as well for pre-teachers to learn about, pre-service teachers. And then the only other thing I can think about, Alicia, on the bottom of our page, we do have a Facebook and YouTube channel. So if you're looking for videos that might be helpful in your courses, this is a great place to look to for some of that information.
Awesome. So I'm going to jump back to our slide deck here, because I think it's time for y'all to stop listening to me. And we'd love to hear from you. Now that we've gone through some of the resources and tools that TIG offers to the field, what else do you think might be needed for the instruction that you are delivering to your pre-service teachers, specifically in the area of transition? So we'd be curious to know if you feel like anything's missing, or even in pieces of curricula or anything you use right now that are really helpful in instructing your students. So we invite you to unmute if you're comfortable sharing, or feel free to add anything to the chat, and we'll just give everyone a minute or two to kind of think on that.
I'll start.
Go ahead.
I don't really have anything additional that needs to be added. I just wanted to say that thank you for the work that went into this, and I feel like it's very clear and easily maneuvered, and there's a wealth here of information that is going to just be very helpful as we seek to teach our pre-service teachers. So thank you for the work that went into it and for just how clear it is.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Thank you.
I think, Pam, you may have frozen for a second. Can you still hear us?
I can.
Okay. Were you saying anything?
No, I just said thank you.
Oh, okay, great. Does anyone else want to share anything?
Pam, I'll just jump in real quick here if you don't mind. Having just taken that PTP course online as part of my transition planning coursework through UW-Whitewater, it does take about 8 to 10 hours to complete. So it was a perfect side project for the teacher to have us do along with the readings, and really apply kind of what we were reading and learning and the articles we were reading. So to go along with the coursework, it was really good to go through each one of those and see what the PTP was actually like.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Lisa. I think the benefit too of the course is really walking a teacher through not only best practice and effective transition planning, but there's so many things to remember as a new teacher, and having to, I get it, I run this application, but having to go to a different application that's different from your IEP to do this transition planning we don't want it to be forgotten. It's such an important piece of our students' IEP. And so having the opportunity to sort of see what that looks like and interact with it and be prepped for that, I think is just another thing that can be checked off pre-service teachers list. I know there was no application when I started teaching, but that part of the IEP was difficult for me because there's so many other pieces that are integral into that IEP plan.
Lisa, quick question. I was just thinking, since I haven't seen that the planning modules and you've gone through them, which class did it fit into the class that you took it? I know it wasn't 706, but would it seem to fit into a better, I'm thinking the course sequence we've got, where that would fit the best?
I actually took it with Lana just this summer. It was the transition planning course.
Okay.
She substituted it for a different module. She had us try it out, and we did the PTP course within a week, tangent to her other instructional services. She actually had a project each week, and the last week was the culmination of putting everything we learned, because you actually get to go in and it goes through the PTP demo site and everything like that. So it worked out really well.
Super. Well, thank you. I'll let her know that seemed to fit and went well. Thanks for everything that all of you are doing too. These are a lot of nice resources.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I think we need to extend the thanks to Lisa too, because this conversation really was her idea as a result of her experience in going through and completing her transition certificate, and just even letting her own instructors know, like, hey, we have these really great resources on this team that I work for. And so it was important that we wanted to have this conversation and get out there so that you all knew about them. So I think with that.
One thing I'd like to mention with the PTP course also is that and so that's not an automatic certificate when they get done. So if you have some procrastinators in your course that it's due on a certain date, you can let us know that, but also know that they may not get that certificate on getting them back within 24 hours. But if they have a due date at midnight and they
Pam, you're cutting in a little bit, in and out for me. Is that anyone else's experience?
Yep, same.
Okay. I think Pam was just mentioning the certificate that comes at the end of the PTP course that is graded by TIG staff. And so it's not like an automatically generated thing. And so just knowing that may take a little bit of time. Our goal is around 24 hours to get that back to folks. But if you're asking students to use the certificate as proof of completing an assignment, just be aware of that timeline.
Yes.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure I was capturing what you were, because you were just saying it and then you would get cut off and frozen right at the end of your sentence.
Is that for the PTP module that you're saying, or was that for a different resource?
Nope, that is for the PTP course through UW-Whitewater. That's hosted on Canvas.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anything else before we move on? Okay. So that mostly ends the bulk of our presentation. We do ask that you take a quick survey for us. Oops. I'm going to actually escape from our presentation here for a second. We like to make sure what we're putting out there is appropriate for the field and we're meeting the needs of our audience. And so I did go ahead and put that link as well as the passcode for our evaluation survey today right in the chat. So we'd really appreciate it if you could go and spend, probably going to take you 2 minutes or less, to go and fill that out and make sure we met your needs today. And with that, we will stay on for sure for questions. We have plenty of time.
Do you have a clickable link that everybody can use for
Yeah.
that link that you put up there wasn't?
It was not clickable. Let's get that working. Let's try this.
Alicia, I can also send it in an email to those that attended.
That would be great. There is the clickable link. Got it now. Thanks for pointing that out.
So I have a question.
Yeah, please.
I got thinking about after you asked what the kind of resources we could use, but is there any sort of idea, anyone kind of collecting information on what sorts of things we're seeing from, teachers in their first couple of years, maybe deficits and things that they really need to beef up on? So I know the things that I think are important, the things I'm teaching in class, and I'm in contact with some directors of special ed and people services. I'm just curious if there's kind of a wider view of what they really need to know there. And I'm aware of CEC's standards and that kind of thing, but beyond that.
That's a really excellent question. And I think I definitely have a perspective, but I think our TIG staff and our regional coordinators, who unfortunately are not on with us, probably would have way more information for you as well. So I think that would be a good resource for you to reach out. And the reason being is that part of one of the responsibilities the grant project has is to review monthly PTP plans that use the other language around employment and education goals. I would say that's probably our biggest technical assistance area. And so they're looking at PTPs every month. They're seeing what teachers are putting in there. And I would say that's probably their answer. Would be, first of all, using the other box doesn't necessarily make a PTP plan non-compliant, but it can. And the application is set up to really guide teachers and IEP teams to write effective plans. And so using the other box there is because we know that students with IEPs are unique, and that they don't always fit into, how we've set up the goals, but really a teacher should be first and foremost working on writing those goals using the drop-down menus and the options there, and not necessarily the other box. I know transition assessments is a huge question we get from the field as well. That was one resource I didn't really go into real extensively. I will note, if you're at the bottom of a web page and you want to get back to our menu, you actually have to scroll up, but you can also just click on transition planning and it will take you to the main page. But I'm just going to show, we have an age-appropriate transition assessment guide. So this page, this just talks through transition assessment. Is there a guide not on here? Am I looking for it in the wrong place?
That is one link that we have to go through and add. I've got that on my list, yes.
I'm going to grab it in resources.
And then, Alicia, maybe you want to show the other handout that we have too?
Yep. You're really quiet, Pam. I can hear you. So this is the guide we have that lists many different transition assessments for teachers, down to the different areas that they can assess as well. And we also have a live binder version of this, but I'm guessing that's what we're missing. Mm-hmm. Our website is new as of 6 weeks ago, and so we're still working out the kinks. And then, Pam, you think I'm going to find the other one-pager?
Potentially, or Lisa, could you put a link to it in the chat?
It's right there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Right.
So this is a one-pager on reviewing PTPs for compliance. And so I think this would be really good for teachers to review and just understand what are the required components. The other piece I would say from my lens as the statewide coordinator of the PTP is that there is a great majority, 99% of PTPs are compliant, but compliance is one thing, and that making an effective or best practice transition plan can go beyond the minimal compliance. And so I encourage teachers to use their text boxes to add more information, to write more robust transition plans. The PTP has the blue Learn More buttons. Those provide not only like the compliance pieces of each part of the PTP, but also talk a lot more about effective practice and have more resources too. So just even having teachers be familiar with going beyond sort of what is a compliant PTP plan, but what is a robust plan that we're going to review regularly and help our students have positive outcomes. That was a long answer. Does anyone else have anything to add?
Thank you for that.
I would just add knowing the outside agencies or the adult agency system.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask about pre-ETs and connecting those and everything. I mean, we use pre-ETs, but I think we have that resource.
So maybe try WIOA if that doesn't.
Here it is.
You can find it in there.
So this handout, I searched transition services, but this goes into the legal requirements of transition services under IDEA and WIOA. But if you scroll all the way down, it actually breaks down the categories of pre-ETs in the PTP and the individual services. And so I would have some directors who may say that their teachers click the first thing on the list, especially are there teachers who are less familiar with the PTP. So just being really familiar with these categories and what is in them can help write robust plans. I wouldn't say that every teacher does that, but I have heard that anecdotally, that they often see the most common transition services are the first one in the drop-down list. This summer as well, we just did an update to the PTP. If you go and check out the demo site, you can see it. We added an option for teams to be doing more long-range planning with transition services and course of study. We actually provide tables where IEP teams can be planning out 4+ years for students at a time and see the course of study and transition services side by side and see how they line up and meet those post-secondary goals. So if we have a couple minutes, I'm going to stop talking for a minute in case there's other questions, but I'd be happy to show that to you all as well.
I would just add, when we talk about transition services and pre-ETs, they are the same thing. Pre-ETs are pre-employment transition services and more of a term that DVR uses, where often in education we use transition services.
We're going to hope the demo loads right now. The demo can be a little finicky. The PTP just went through some major upgrades like as of a week ago, and so they're still working out a few kinks, and I think the demo might be one of them, but it did work. So I'm going to pause and make sure there aren't other questions, but I'd be happy to show the improvement or the enhancement that we did to the transition services and course of study page. What other questions do folks have? Okay, I'll give a little more think time, because I believe you are all familiar with the PTP. Holler if you're not, but I'm going to click us through so that we can look at the enhancements. Okay, so we are now on the transition services page. Excuse me, phone is ringing. I'm gonna not answer that right now. So this does look a little bit different. Typically we would see old in the real PTP applications, teachers are going to see if a student has previously had transition services, those are going to show up. But because we're in a demo, that is not going to look that way. So for the purposes of our demo, I'm just going to go ahead and select a service here from the job exploration and counseling services. I'm going to add it. And then, so you can see that this is for the 2021 school year's transition year 1. Then I might add a service for the next year, which is maybe getting involved in jobs. So you can see that a IEP team can plan out for more than 1 year. And a reminder that PCPs need to have at least one transition service, but most of them usually have more than one. And then when you move on to the next, we're going to say no outside agencies at this point. You'll be able to enter the course of study. Let's say history. It's a required course maybe for freshmen. And then in the next year, they were gonna look into some, I think our career goal was working in a warehouse shipping. And so we could say that might need some math, and we'll add that for the next school year. Did it add for me? It did. So you can see that the courses are lining up with the transition services, and this was done to really promote that long-range planning and align. If my employment goal is to work for a large warehouse doing shipping, what is my course of study? What do my transition services look like? So when I leave high school, I'm ready to enter my post-secondary education or training or job, and be prepared for that. Any questions? That was like lightning speed view of this enhancement.
Is it possible once you've gone through and done this demo site to print or download a PDF of what you put together?
Yes, yeah.
When you get, in the past, I've just been using a Word document that I went in and stole everything out of the PTP and then had students, write it out and then do it that way. But this would be a little bit better.
Let me finish here. No. So at the end, this does create a PDF, which looks just like the I-8 that staff create in the real PTP application. Give me a second. It opened on my other screen here. So I'm going to pop this over so you all can see. So this is exactly what the I-8 PDF looks like that is attached to the IEP. And so you can have students save this. But you can see the main components, the meeting attendance, their goals there that I picked. Here's our transition services, outside agency, course of study, transfer of rights.
If they, I haven't finished the that online course. I'm still working through it, so I haven't gotten to the end. And Lisa, I think you mentioned that they do the PTP at the end of that course.
I don't know. I'm trying to remember because between work and the course, I think it refers them over to it. Do you guys, Pam, and do they actually have
the app, right, Pam?
Yes, they complete the app and get a printout that looks very similar to this.
Okay, so they can get a printout themselves doing that as well. Okay, that's my question. If I, if I assign them the course, would I have something, that they can turn in basically or upload to show that they did it? Thank you.
So they could do they can print out the app, and then they'd also receive a certificate of completion.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, thank you.
So just remember, with the demo site and with the app, they can't save it, so they have to download it.
Okay.
For confidentiality reasons, in case somebody put in a real student or something like that, it's not savable.
That makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
They can email it to themselves.
Okay.
From the app, yeah. And when you're in the demo site, they would have to do just what I did, which is view and print, and it will generate a PDF. And then I would have to go ahead and save this to be able to upload it to a Canvas or something to that effect if I were to be turning this in as an assignment. But once I close the demo site, nothing is saved.
Okay, that makes perfect sense. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We always tell them, know that you have to complete it in one sitting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which, you know, Gen Z loves.
The nice thing about the demo site is, and the demo site is heavily referenced in the course too, but it looks and feels just like the real application. So, and I will say the app that they complete at the end of the PTP online course, I think really does a nice job guiding that robust best practice transition planning. Whereas this is just to like get folks familiar with like, what does the application look like that I'm actually using and how do I click, right? The app does a nice job guiding those questions and conversations for robust planning.
The demo site would be, I think, a better tool when you're talking about other and when not to use other, and using those additional text boxes to really tell the true story of a student versus just clicking the boxes to get the application done.
Yeah, I will say even in my role now at DPI, the application too is the most common resource I send to teachers, families, and students. Because it's accessible by anyone. And like I said, it guides that effective practice conversation. And many parents I have said, go do this app with your student, print it out and take it to that IEP meeting. That's going to really enhance that transition conversation at that IEP meeting.
And encourage families and students to do it separately, because you may be amazed at how different those outcomes come. Yeah. Which makes for a great conversation with families.
Alicia, are you able to just pull up the app to see what it looks like?
Yep, sure can.
Has anyone used the app yet? Ever seen that? Great.
So let's I think a second where I was going. Okay, so this is what the app looks like. We should mention that the app, you can access it on a computer or any Apple or Android device. So it's very accessible. It looks very similar. The mobile version looks a little bit different, but not much. So there's instructions on how to use it. X out of that. Frequently asked questions. Start a PTP. Here's our warning, nothing saves. You must get through this in one sitting. And it's really written student and family friendly. So after school, I want education, training, a job to live on my own, rather than being very structured of like writing the IDEA compliant employment and education goals. So it lets students kind of guide their plan. So, and it even is designed for 6th graders if we want to go that young, but we'll say I'm 16 years old. It gives us the notice of the transfer of rights. So, and I won't go through the whole thing, but you can just kind of get a feel of how the questions are written. Anything else anyone would like me to highlight?
I was just going to say, in those areas, if a student were to say no, it gives them information about an IEP and that they should have one and be involved in it. So it's a little bit of an educational tool as well.
What else is coming up for folks? Okay. Well, if there's no further questions, I think we can be done for today. I think TIG staff will sign off or stay on for a few minutes in case of things come to you as you're kind of signing off. We will send out the evaluation again to folks who attended or who had registered, as well as we're going to send, we recorded, like we said at the beginning, we'll send the recording to all the registrants. And feel free to reach out at any time throughout your school year or in the future. We'd be happy to collaborate with you. Any of our team members would be happy to. Anything else we want to say before we sign off?
Lisa, if you haven't already, would you stop recording?